Okay, we're going to review arithmetic sequences or arithmetic sequences. And the first thing that you have to do is first to determine if it is an arithmetic sequence and what the common difference is. Is it arithmetic and what's the common difference? So I look at my list. 19, 22, 25, 28. Now I believe when I look at these two, it's real easy for me to see that that goes up by 3. I'll look here, 22 and 25. So I take the 25 and subtract 22. It gives me 3. 22 minus 19, that gives me 3. So my common difference is 3 because it goes up by 3 each time. This is arithmetic. And its common difference is 3. Well, let's do the same thing on this problem. Negative 35, negative 37, negative 39, negative 41. Well, if I ignore the negatives, 35, 37, 39, 41, that's going by 2's. But since it's negative and it's getting larger, my difference is negative 2. Again, if I use my calculator, negative 37 minus a negative 35 gives me negative 2. Now, let's zoom in just a little bit. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was quite so far away. There we go. So it gives me negative 2. So I can always find the common difference by subtracting the second term minus the first term. So my common difference is negative 2, and it's the same all the way through, and it is arithmetic. Now, this asks for the 52nd term and the explicit formula. To review, I want to use both the explicit formula and the recursive formula, and we're going to do that on our first term. So we'll slide this over just a little bit. So the recursive formula just tells me how to get to the next term. Well, what do I have to do to keep going up? I have to add 3. So my recursive formula here, a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus the difference. So to find this recursive formula, a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus whatever this difference is. This difference is 3, so it's plus 3. Now to write the explicit formula, I'm going to use much of the same information. Let me slide that over just a little more. There we go. I'm going to use much of this same information to write my explicit formula. A sub n equals a sub 1. This a subscript 1 right here means my first term in the sequence. My first term is 19. Plus my d, my difference. Well, my difference in this problem is 3. Parenthesis and then n minus 1. Now that is the explicit formula. It is not simplified. I expect that you should simplify your equations whenever possible. So we need to do our distributive property. 19 plus 3 times n, which gives me 3n, and 3 times minus 1 is negative 3. And now I need to combine my like terms. This is my only term with a variable, so that's my 3n. I'm going to bring it down. And then I have to combine the 19 minus 3. Well, 19 minus 3 is 16. By doing this, I have written my recursive formula and my explicit formula. I have written both of them by using the formulas that you've been given to do these problems. I'm going to do this again with problem number 2 over here. So I'm going to slide this over so we can see it better. There we go. All right, so for my recursive formula, okay, so for the recursive formula, it says a sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus my d. Well, what was my d here? -2, so I can put plus a -2. Now, we don't normally use two symbols right here together, so frequently you will see this rewritten in this format with a single symbol between the two, a minus. Instead of plus and negative, you'll see minus. This is your recursive formula. Now let's do the explicit formula. A sub n equals a sub 1. Well, what is my first term? -35 plus the d. What's my difference? -2 times n minus 1. Again, I would expect you to do your distributive property and simplify your problem. The -35 plus -2n, and -2 times -1 is +2. Bring down my n term, I need to enunciate. And now -35 and +2 is -33. This is my explicit formula. Okay, cool. We have found both the recursive and explicit formulas for both of these two problems. The last thing that this asked for was my 52nd term. To find the 52nd term, it's a sub 52, and I'm going to plug this 52 into where the n is. So 3 times 52 minus 16. Well, 3 times 52 is 156 minus 16. And I believe that that will give me 140. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing. That gives me my 52nd term. And again, I will do that same process for number 2 to find the 52nd term. -2 times 52 minus 33. If I multiply this, I get -104 minus 33, which gives me a -137. This shows you how to first find your common difference, then to be able to write your recursive formula and your explicit formula, and then to find a term, in this case the 52nd term. If I ask for the 4th term, you would just put in a 4. If I ask for the 100th term, you would plug in 100. This is a review of finding the difference, the explicit and recursive formulas, and finding a given term for an arithmetic sequence.